So, most of us live constantly in a world of symbols, and these symbols take on different forms, such as judgments, preferences, words, identities, any type of thought designed to put parts of your experience into separate categories or divisions, which all thoughts are. We use these symbols to describe our reality, but the symbols themselves are self created. They don't exist outside the mind. These thoughts are essentially illusions. They're not in the real world. And so, in this way, if you are thinking all the time, if you're thinking compulsively throughout the day, nonstop, you will spend the entire day completely out of touch with reality. Now, recognizing this system of symbols as an illusion is a very common step within traditions like Hinduism, Buddhism, yoga, towards what is colloquially referred to as waking up, finding an experience of the world as it is in itself, without the system of symbols we lay on top of it. And of course, seated meditation is one of many powerful tools that we can use to clear our minds of illusory thoughts and have this direct engagement with reality. And this is really the goal of any mystical experience: direct engagement with what is, seeing past our self-induced hypnosis. So today we'll focus on a free-form meditation where you have a few choices for what to focus on. So take a comfortable seat, start to slow down your breath, and begin to drop into the direct physical experience you're having with your environment. Maybe you focus on the feeling of touch, how the chair feels beneath you, the feeling of your own hands as they rest on top of each other or your knees, the feeling of your own breath on your nostrils, or the chest expansion of each inhale. Maybe you focus on sound, whatever you can hear in the room you're in. Maybe you focus on the sound of your own breath or sounds coming from outside. You can also leave your eyes open, sort of at half-mast, and find a visual point of focus, a texture, a shape, maybe a flickering candle or a light. With all this in mind, you can start to see that at every moment, our physical environment offers us nearly infinite amount of experiences to choose from. There is always so much going on around us, and it's impossible to take it all in at once. So you must choose what your experience will be, what to focus on. Whatever you choose, try to find something that you can regard neutrally, something that doesn't inspire any immediate emotional response or attachment. Again, the goal is a pushing past illusion towards direct experience. So in this way, when you focus on your chosen experience, do so without forming any thoughts about it. Don't identify the sounds that you hear. Don't label what you see. And don't add any intellectual content to what you feel. The experience simply is what it is. And if you can avoid burying it in symbols and judgments, even for just a moment, you allow it to be as real as it possibly can. You slowly begin to quiet your mind, gently leading it back to your focus again and again as it drifts. Because it will, and that's okay. The important thing to remember is to remain gentle and patient with yourself. If you are gentle and you don't try to force anything, if you have patience rather than trying to grab hold and wrestle your mind into submission, it will start to calm down on its own, and it will become easier and easier to let your chosen experience wash over you, flow right through you. And then something important can happen. As your mind slowly shifts away from focusing on what you think about this thing you start to become utterly fascinated with the thing in itself on its own terms. You can have a moment, and all the nonsense that was spinning in your mind goes silent. The curtain is lifted, the veil is pierced. If you can arrive at this moment, have this brief experience of pure awareness, you might actually laugh to yourself and feel a tremendous feeling of relief. Looking back at all the fuss you made throughout the day, roles you played, the symbols, the thoughts, and the ideas in your mind that you held on to and you took so seriously. Now seeing that none of that actually existed in the real world, the world outside of your mind. And you let that feeling of tremendous relief wash over you as you let it all go. The worry, anxiety, and importance that you lay on top of your reality is self-made. And you can always unmake it if you're tired of that game and return to reality as it actually is. This is one of the powers of meditation, and you can always come back to it for varying amounts of time and choose a different thing to focus on. For instance, you may find through practice that focusing on sound for you is easier than vision, or that physical touch is more compelling than sound. Find whatever works best for you, and let that be your bridge back to reality after spending all day in the world of symbols. Thanks for listening.